So
All right, we are on.
When the red
Counselor.
light's on, it's
awesome. Perfect.
one more time.
There we go.
There you go.
You got it.
All right, it's 6 o'clock and we're going to call the City Parks Advisory Committee meeting to order. And we're going to just jump right in and run with it tonight. Our old business that we're going to start with is a Parks Master Plan. And what we have in front of us is a list of questions for us to look at, see if we want to make any revisions or whatnot. And it will be a survey that we can then use to continue our plan. We've done several in the past, but we have to have them within, I believe, a certain date time. Is that correct?
Yes.
Oh, hi, yay.
Yeah, you have Jesse Ott from Benton
Thank
County
you.
Parks with us.
Thank you for being here. I'm sorry you didn't look left.
Hi, hello, everybody. Hey, sorry I'm not there tonight. I still wanted to join, so yeah, I'm just looking forward. I'm glad we got a park board going. So anyway, I'm here to support and wanted to say hi.
Thank you
Hey,
so
thank you.
much. Oh, that's exciting. It feels like a real thing. So
I
exciting.
love it.
So anyway, we just want to kind of look over, see if there's anything that stands out to you guys or anything it feels like maybe we missed information wise that we'd like to glean. And yeah, and also before that, I was trying to say, I think we have to have a time frame on when the survey is done to when we work on the master plan. Is that correct, Steve?
At this point, the survey should probably go out so that you can review it. I mean, that's a big part of it. And then the second part of that is we can review the survey against the town halls that we had.
Uh-huh.
And then you
Okay.
probably will want to have you might also want to engage folks like Jesse Ott and the Benton County Parks and Rec people and bring some of those folks down as we go through this to get their insight, because the master plan will want to see that we have engaged not just our local community and region, but also our neighboring and adjoining, our partnerships that we have with the county
Perfect.
specifically. So,
Awesome.
but this is kind of the first step, is to get a feel for what our community would like to see.
Okay, that sounds great. And we also, just so that you guys know, if you weren't involved before, we already did do quite a bit of community outreach last year. And so we've got a lot of information from that we can use as well. So this won't be our only thing.
Where do we locate that? Because I looked everywhere. and I couldn't
It's,
find
It is in,
it.
I will show you.
Minutes or- Yeah, I
It
want
is
that.
on our,
I've got that.
okay, so you're looking under our planning and
Right.
building. So you go to Department of Services, Planning and Building.
Okay.
And if you go down here to, sorry, I need to go back
So I
one
got
thing. There we go.
Community perspective.
So planning and building is the first
Mhm.
tab. And very down at the bottom, you're going to see rare documents.
Oh, rare.
Okay.
Got it.
And then when you go to rare documents, you're going to see a whole bunch of, this is all of Chris Rivera's work and his presentations. You will see park master plan files.
Okay.
You will also see our economic development files,
I found
demographic
that.
works, and specifically committee takeaways. These are his, and then community engagement takeaways. So these two areas here are all his notes that he made from all the town halls and all the different things. And this is public information. You're welcome to go there. If you go inside these folders, you will see the interviews that he made. You will see this one is very interesting. This is the Amigos de Monroe. This is
Mhm.
with the CASA interpreters. So you have the Hispanic community, a Spanish speaking community,
Good.
who say they love animals and that type of thing. So that was one of the takeaways from that. They would like to see more activities with animals. But anyway, and then this is where it's all at. There's a huge amount of information here available in terms of the research that he did.
Okay, good.
and then the second part in there is talking about the inventory, and we talked about the schools, and because they were the school grounds were included in the original Parks Master Plan as far as our space that we had for parks. With things moving forward now, we weren't sure how viable that was because of insurance and different things. And of course, we had COVID and whatnot. So I went to the school board last year and chatted with them about it. And I honestly don't know if they ended up getting back to us at all or not, but we were concerned about that. So I will find out when the next school board meeting is, because we do need to follow up and make sure with them. But I don't have a lot of high hope that they're going to allow that to be considered a park area. There's fences around it. It's especially like the grade school, it's locked off. So it doesn't seem really viable as land we can use. So within that, one of our saving graces is that we have the north gateway that we're calling it park that has just happened that gave us some more footage for parks. So that's kind of a hopeful thing with that. So.
And as a result, if we take the schools out, the only real amenities we have is the baseball, the TNT ball.
TNT.
Right.
That's it.
Yep.
Everything else in terms of parks that we might consider are some paths. And that's it. We don't have basketball courts.
Right.
Our
Nope,
kids,
not yet.
when, last year from one of our meetings, I saw 5 kids, teenagers come down bouncing a basketball. So I decided, I do this on occasion. I have young people come by with skateboards and I say, hey, I'm Steve, I'm city administrator. Where you guys going? We're trying to go play some basketball. Well, where? So, well, we can't go to the high school.
No.
Well, are you gonna, the elementary school is open for a little bit. So they really feel, the only real place they have to
Right.
come is here.
Mhm.
And so you have teenage kids out here. We just had a piece of equipment broken because they're playing on equipment that was designed for 5 and 6-year-olds, not 16-year-olds. And at one level you can say, well, they shouldn't be doing that, but where else do they go? There is no other place.
Yeah.
And
Unless
that's
it's
been a
private
problem,
ownership.
but at the moment, it seems to be, we have more kids from, and I think it's also, as they say, this is I'm going to use the word equity.
Mhm.
It is an equity issue. We have families that have no means of during the day, and we heard this in our town halls,
Mhm.
that they have no means during the day to leave in a car and go someplace. They can only walk. And so we've heard that the park that they will not go across the bridge. I know one family tried. I asked, well, how was it? He said, we will
The
not
Death Bridge.
do that again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This is a young Hispanic family with their kids. They just simply won't. As a result, we are working on a grant right now to put a pedestrian bridge across to see if we can do that. But still, what can we provide closer to the families so that they can get their kids playing basketball or safe places to do things? We just don't have anything.
And the old basketball court, I know, talking with Bo and some of the board, is that they're hoping for improvements in the school, so they aren't open because they had a grant that they asked for and money's about 10 years ago. And it was a very reasonable bid, I thought, because you have to remove all that
Right.
old and then start new. And the kids, they'll sneak in or try, but it's not safe. I wish we had, as we talked last EDC meeting, something like Harrisburg. Yeah, because that's where I take my teens and their friends to, is Harrisburg.
What does Harrisburg have for amenities?
Well, first of all, they started with grants and then in kind, and
So what do they have, like basketball courts?
I'm
And
coming to that.
okay,
They got part of it, but they wasn't enough to go forward. So what they did, which I thought was great, they said, well, now we're deciding to put in a pickleball court. And so a lot of the populace thought, oh, okay, other than bouncing balls or moving wheels. And so they got the rest of the funding for it. And now, of course, it's the maintenance, but they have an amazing basketball court. and they're putting up lights. They have a little skateboard park, which I'm not
Mm-hmm.
much into that, but I'll tell you, you go to Harrisburg, there's no kids on bikes. They're all running around on scooters, you know? They
In
love
that
that park.
park, it doesn't matter when you go.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder, because I'm thinking, isn't it school hours? But that
know,
park
there's
is
kids in-
used.
Yeah,
It is
and
used.
adults use it.
Yeah.
And now they have the pickleball area.
Mhm.
And
That's
they're
exciting.
going to use the area in between skate park and the other. So they have a lot of plans for it. But again, it's in basically the middle of town. So they don't have the Death Bridge to cross, which the teens don't care about, you know, they just go.
Oh,
right.
no, teens don't,
No, they don't care.
They have a death wish anyway.
I
so,
know, I-
yeah.
And
When my public works worker, Mark, was a teen, he would walk across the dam. So, you know, that was,
it just, but then they get to TNT Field and it's locked,
yes.
so. And I keep
Which-
telling you, you can't jump the fence, guys, if anything goes wrong.
So while this survey, and I guess the point, listening is if we have the survey, it asks all these wonderful things. Do you want this? And do you want this? And do you want this? The answer is yes, we want it all. But the next question is for the city is where are we going to put it? Because before we were relying on the schools to
Yeah.
backfill
Right.
that need. And we don't have that. We really don't.
No,
So what do we do?
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
And
the-
I think that's where being able to prioritize, and I love that that has it in that survey, is what are your priorities? What is your first wish? What is your second wish? Because it's going to be something just like with anything else we've dealt with. It's not going to happen in a day. So we're going to have to build, and at least if we can get some stepping stones and get this plan done, so if there are grants, we can go for it. As we know, our budget is very little to nothing. And so, you know, being able to have it prioritized out and updated puts us in the running to be able to get some funds if we can. So does anybody have any other questions about that or comments?
Are there any things you'd like to see on it? I mean, this was just pulled from the previous.
Well, it would have been nice to get this a couple hours ago so I could read it.
That's fine. I'm not gonna put anything out.
Because
Uh-huh.
to sit down and just try and read this and listen to this and then read this
Do you-
doesn't work.
Well, and I will also point out that the Parks Master Plan is online, has been online forever, and this is where it's pulled from. So everything we're reviewing here is in the Parks Master Plan. It is available on our website, and you are welcome at any time to come down here and pull the Parks Master Plan and read everything, including the questions. So this is it. This is what we're working on.
And if you, I mean, feel free to take it home, look it over, and if you have questions or
I
extra
think that'd be
comments,
helpful, yeah.
get them
Yeah,
back,
well,
you know,
Yeah.
email or,
We're not making any final.
By all
decisions
means.
no,
on
no,
this
we're not
tonight.
sending the survey out tomorrow.
No, no,
So,
No,
So-
but,
even the day after tomorrow.
no,
no.
it'll be a minute, but,
Well, I asked this
Yeah.
question last time, how much money is in the kitty for parks? Nothing. Well, what
Yeah.
good is this
well,
unless you get a grant?
we can't get a grant without it. That's why we have
We
to
have
do
to
this.
update the plan before we can.
Data master
But I
plan, you
heard
will
that
not
back
get.
in 2011, when the Parks Master Plan came about, everybody got all excited. And what has happened since then?
Restroom,
The
the
restroom
restroom
and
was
the
a
structure.
result of this,
Well, that was a grant for that,
but it was a result of the Parks Master Plan.
but what does that do for our kids?
The
Yeah.
council decided to do that. You
I-
guys now have an
I was here for
opportunity.
that.
You
I
now,
was here for that.
okay, you know that. I mean, you're asking a rhetorical question and I know the answer as well.
Well,
But it still goes back to the fact, what do the kids have to play with?
Mhm.
Right.
I mean, bathroom, yeah, that's great to have, but it's across Death Bridge over to the park. I never would have sent my kids over there back in the day.
So the question I had, and I'll go back to it, where in Monroe are you going to put those amenities?
well, the last meeting, we just very loosely, EDC meeting, discussed the area to the north.
Is that some place that you want to put ask your kids to go next to the highway?
A high school or somewhere where they're visible, because I don't want them teens out of sight. I want to be able to find them. I've been there, I know that.
Could I bring up something?
Sure.
So, one thing that it is not available to the city right now, but is something that we've been talking about is a potential a few potential future park site beside the lift station as basically a gateway to the main park.
Mhm.
So you could
Mhm.
imagine that being a Riverside Park or something. And then adjacent to that, public parking. So as you come into the very center of town, you'd see
Mhm.
River, I don't, it could be something else, whatever, park and in public parking. And that would be a natural kind of like jumping off point for any other kind of access. But that doesn't mean that there couldn't be a small place where there's some apparatus or something over there. There would be room provided that we go through all the rest of the steps.
But that's all privately owned property
To
so
buy it.
far.
To buy it. No, the whole premise is that that
That was the land
property
swap, wasn't it?
would be an
Yes, yeah. House
opportunity
Springs
for
land
us
swap.
to act, for the city to procure that property, and that would be the key way for that to take place. There's a little bit of room around the lift station for the footing for the bridge, but at the very, but if you look on the little plat map, there's a
Yeah, yeah.
perfect
Mhm.
just north of right up to the edge of that white fence, and then right beside the bank there, Nystrom owns those two
You're
plots.
talking about on this side of the river.
Yes.
I'm talking
Oh,
about,
yes.
like, about, you
Mhm.
could throw a baseball in it, so.
It's right behind silos.
Mhm.
Yeah, I knew that. property.
Yeah, I think you can stand up. It's-
Think
Yeah, I
that-
can
Yeah,
see,
right
I
there.
can see.
I think it's kind of.
Between the
negotiating right now.
So in terms of like a lot, all these plans to create these things take a really long time. So it's just laying the groundwork and
Mhm.
putting the pieces in place. So some of this, even if you don't necessarily have an opportunity now, you could potentially work towards it. And so it makes sense to actually do the design effort after you get the input.
And there is quite a bit of room over in the city park. It's just that
Mhm.
you have to get access
is.
to it.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
also a priority that we've
Yeah.
identified, and we're moving forward with a grant to do
What,
that.
what about, have you guys been considering at all, changing the, reservoir park? Has that been
Up on the hill.
up the hill? Yeah, I
Yeah.
wonder if that's been something that has been discussed, because it does have a couple of picnic benches. I have sat there, but I noticed nobody else goes up through
No.
there.
Only for stargazing.
Okay.
When I do a thing about stargazing.
Is that a
you'll get
euphemism?
No,
No.
no, you'll get a little smattering of people up there if there's a meteor shower or
Right.
whatever. So
You know,
No, and
we-
I've been told it'd be a great skateboard park.
that's what I think. I
But
think
you
that'd
Also
be
be a great
awesome.
mountain bike.
Oh,
you
that would
can't
be
see
awesome
those
too.
Yeah.
kids up.
Yeah.
That's the fu- And with the Ford family, instead of doing, the dog park happened, but the picnic table up there, that's what was chosen. And I'm thinking, what the heck? How does that help our kids?
Yeah, well,
You know,
it's a good
really.
thing to think about as you move forward. And potentially you can also be adjusting the design at this point to take advantage
Yeah.
of some of those things. Sometimes things
that's-
can be moved too, so.
Yeah, and that's the really nice thing about the plan. When we start putting the plan together, we give suggestions and ideas and you kind of put them in an order, but we are not held to what's in that plan. Like, we don't have to do exactly in the order or the things on there.
It
We
has
just
show
have to
some
have the
thinking.
general plan together to go for grants. So if a great idea comes up and we're all in accordance, we can move through in a different direction.
Yeah. I
It's
write
just that we have
grants,
to have the piece
So I
together.
understand grants.
Yeah.
I've done that as a councilman.
Yeah,
So
so,
it's just, she's just asserting that what the importance of doing the plan now.
Yeah.
It
That-
is.
that's
Oh,
the-
absolutely. Yeah.
That's what makes this all pertinent.
right.
Yeah.
It's just, it's a hoop we gotta jump through.
Wasn't this thing out here a grant, this toddler?
Don't know.
That was way
I-
before me.
Wasn't that a
Maybe as
grant
well.
that Cantor went out and got?
To
upgrade?
For the upgrade, yes.
Yes.
Yes, it was a park,
Yeah.
it was an
Oh.
upgrade for the park.
That was
yes.
whenever they did this special swing.
Plus, we got the
Yeah.
special swings, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and I think it was that at the same time, that was right as I was coming in, I think. Cause we had some damage to the park and it had to be closed for a long time because,
So
yeah,
we're
and
just
so
Yeah.
we needed the new upgraded
Remember
stuff. Is that
this.
correct?
that is
Yeah.
correct.
Okay.
That was in the 2018, 2019.
Got that fairly quickly, too.
2019.
Yeah.
And now, being that said, Surge wants to build over here, right?
Correct?
And we're not sure when he wants to do this, but is there any plans for a park in his plans?
Hmm.
Or is that something we could ask as the Parks Committee to ask the Planning Commission to put on to fund something to put in this park down here instead of tying up a whole piece of property over there for a park?
Sure.
Something to think about too.
Good idea.
Because, you know, asphalt pad for basketball would be ideal.
Sure, he will have to pay, and that how it would work would be, that they will be paying about $20,000 approximately in SDCs per unit. Part of that is a Parks SDC, and he can certainly we can give him what's called a credit, meaning we will credit him for the value of putting in a cement or putting in something. And then he can do that himself and that would be taken off the SDCs. The value to Surge or the Pacific Northwest Development would be that they could do it at their cost,
And then
but
mark it up.
still take the
Mhm.
full cost of the
Mhm.
value, the engineering value, per the charts off of that. So he saves some money. It's incentive for him to do something like
Mhm.
that on our behalf.
But wouldn't it be, but that almost ties us up because that assumes that we have to then go through this whole step and then decide that that's part of the design and integrate with his work schedule as opposed to just
That is
taking his,
correct.
taking his money and then
That's
apportioning it however.
That's
we
right.
need.
So
Yeah.
the sooner you have a plan, the
Right,
more you
right.
can take
Right.
advantage of it.
But that most, yeah.
But we can concentrate on Reservoir Heights. We could put a actual parking area up there. We could put swing sets up there. We could put
that's
Frisbee
definitely a
golf up there.
possibility. Yeah,
We could start planning for a skateboard park.
but I think just to clarify that this plan includes more than just that. So that's why we're focusing on figuring out what the future is, which could include other park spaces, rather than just focusing on something we can change right now, which would be kind of a cart before the
Yeah,
horse.
but the only thing I see on this thing is Monroe City Park, Reservoir Park, Red Hills Park,
Yeah, that's
which
not on.
isn't really a park. It's
No.
a walk-through path, collection of rainwater. And then you got the community center toddler park, but then we just mentioned the fact over here,
But
this is
we're not asking.
the Gateway
sur-
Park.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we're not asking the survey recipients to participate in the design effort of future parking spaces. This is,
So we
This is-
need to
this
get
is to
this
get
done
in-
first.
this
and
is
then-
just, this is a survey to get some
To
input.
get input and
From the
ideas.
community. And then we synthesize that with our prior information to actually start to
That
develop
was
a
my
design and a
question.
plan. That's right.
Because this feel of Monroe has changed
So
in
that's-
14 years.
So we're to take this home and check it out and
And
if we
decide
have changes.
decide if we want to create a slightly different instrument.
Yeah, if there's anything in there that you have an idea of wording differently or something that you
Any
think should be an
concerns or
option that's
questions?
not an option on a question or anything like that, then you weigh in and we can make adjustments before we put it
I
out to
thought
the
you were done
public.
with that.
No, no.
No.
Mm-mm.
No,
We're
this
still
is,
going.
We're still
all the
yakking about
information,
this
all
one.
the
This is rough
information you
draft.
have here,
Right, yeah.
all the information you have is taken out of this 2011 master parks plan.
Yep.
There's
Sure,
no
sure,
changes. I didn't
Yeah, so we're
invent
just
anything here.
basically updating this so that we can
And
reuse it.
just like, is this gonna make
So-
us smart enough? If not, is there other questions we can get to make us
Exactly.
smarter?
So coming back to the survey overarching,
Mhm.
Tim talked about cost in general. What about cost just to send this out? Is it insignificant?
It's insignificant. And the reason why it is significant, I don't want to say that. I'm sure Jesse online there's chuckling.
Well, the master
It-
plan's full of pricing.
Pricing things, but here's the thing. Grants will build it. Our issue, our mantra whenever we see that, think of a Christmas tree. Grants are like Christmas trees, all these shiny bubbles on it. There's lots of them. And you want to be tempted to grab a bubble. The question though is after you grab the bauble is can you support and maintain it afterwards?
Correct.
So some things like the restroom, for instance, was, well, it's a restroom and it is a well-used restroom. We know that. But that's the problem. It is a well-used restroom and it uses toilet paper and cleaning. If we didn't have a park host, I'm not sure we could afford it. But we do have a park host and thank goodness he's also an experienced facilities manager, retired. So he understands and knows how to do all that. If we put a trail in, a path, if we have an asphalt path, we have to maintain it. And we know that we can barely maintain our asphalt we have in our own community,
Yeah.
let alone another path. And if those paths get damaged or someone gets hurt on those, then we know that we're liable for it. So we have to be careful in those. The same with park ground equipment. We can get grants to get all the equipment we want from a variety of sources. AARP,
ADA.
T-Mobile,
Yeah.
all these people are looking
ADA.
for ways to build and enhance your communities. But they also say, how are you going to maintain it? That's one of the questions that they ask.
Uh-huh.
So we can get $1 million, give or take, in grants to do things. But does the city have the extra $50,000 a year to maintain it? Right now, the answer is no, we do not. So that's a second question.
Mhm.
Do we add fees to our utility bill as we already are beginning to do? How do we take care? Do we go out and get a bond from the citizens and say we want to have a operational support bond? In which case, if the answer to all that is no, then we have to look at other ways that we can enhance our parks without costing the citizens.
I think you led to an interesting question. So we might consider, if it isn't already, at the end of the survey, including a question of, would you support an increased fee to cover costs? And then a
That's a very
second
good
question
question.
that says, would you
Mm-hmm.
be okay
Yeah,
with? And so that
fee,
allows
yeah.
people to kind of understand, we can get a tenor for how invested the community is.
I
Yeah.
did love that I saw in there if people would be interested in volunteering, or it was something like that to the effect of helping to
Yes.
keep things done up. And I really was excited to see that. I am huge. One of my biggest things is that I feel like in general, and this is me personally, we get in a gimme, gimme, gimme attitude and we just expect to be picking fruit off the tree. When we don't have skin in the game as a community, it's really easy to let it be somebody else's responsibility. If we're the ones raising the money and working hard and putting our hands in it and getting involved with it, there will be hawk eyes on that. And if somebody destroys it, you're going to know who did it. So I really love things that make it so the community's more involved. They've got skin in the game
Here's a
and
question.
they have kind of an ownership to
Has
it.
there ever been like a group that you would call like a Friends of Monroe? Has there ever been like a ad hoc volunteer group or
Not,
something?
not for Monroe
the
in
entire
general.
city.
So
Yeah.
one thing you might
Yeah.
consider doing, and this is just like part of our client contact that we do through the farm store, but you can sign, just like how you're talking about opting in on the survey, and on your events, you can have like a mailing list essentially and say, I'd like to opt in. And that can be like a very informal way of basically saying, I'm interested in this stuff. If there's a volunteer thing opportunity in town, let me know.
Yeah.
And so eventually when people participate, then they start seeing each other and recognizing each other in the community, and you can tell who the Friends of Monroe are. And then those people can actually be part of kind of instant activation if you need kind of like volunteer staff, as opposed to having to do such a really long kind of like, or shock, look for people to help out. You create this little nexus. It's almost like a little club or something.
I like that. And hey, this is Jesse online. Hey, I was just, it made me think of, Afrana. So Afrana is the Alliance for Recreation and Natural Areas, and a lot of you folks know them. And they could definitely help too. They've been a big help to the county and a bunch of other organizations to get park space, to get funding. Because they're already an established 501c3 with some folks that have been, mostly Phil Hayes and Ellen Tappan have been around for so long that, they have really good connections, and, any donations to them are tax deductible. So sometimes, like we found with the Hubert K. McBee campground over there near you folks, they can be a real beneficial way to help get started on stuff like that. So don't hesitate to use them as well, because, they're happy to help.
Sounds
Yeah,
great.
thanks. And
Yeah,
they
I've heard
meet-
of them.
Yeah, they're great. They
Great
meet
group.
here. Yeah.
And I think, aren't they also a potential source for design assistance and?
Yeah.
Brana is
Yeah.
what gave, through John Gradanis, gave us the grant money. They granted us money for the
The walkway.
engineering study for the bridge
Oh,
that developed the entire
okay.
project.
Great.
That has
The-
really helped us with this grant that we're going for, because basically the preliminary engineering is done. And ODOT loves that sort of stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
And I also wanted to-
Afrana was
The leg up.
the one who gave us that.
And I also wanted to let everybody know up in the chat, I just threw an example of our Adair County Park survey. So up in Adair Village, we did one
Oh,
last
thank
year,
you.
and kind of basic, but we were just trying to find out what kind of amenities. They have a pretty established, big park up there, but feel free to use that if it brings up any ideas for you. And there's also a link to the Land and Water Conservation Fund. So since you folks were talking about partnerships with the high school, I would recommend, if you have a chance to go to their school board meeting, if they have a need, say they've always wanted to get a soccer field, but it's something they can't afford, that Land and Water Conservation Fund from Oregon State Parks, I think, will offer you even deals to lower the match that you're usually required if you partner with a school district.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, so there's options there too. So if you know what they want, you might be able to slide something that works for the kids, outside of school hours, and you can help kind of bring it home and make it happen for them too.
Oh, that's a great idea. Thank you.
That is a good idea.
On the survey on it's 9A, it says, are you willing to volunteer in helping with keeping our parks nice or in a recreational program in our parks? And if yes, please explain. So that might be a little bit of a caveat to what you were saying, and kind of start gathering people that would be interested.
Yeah, I
in.
was thinking like,
So-
and would you like to join an email list and
Mhm,
just add your
exactly.
email? And then now we're starting to kind of seed a community of people that.
Well, it would be
and-
good. There was just a post on Facebook last week about somebody saying, we carry a little bag. I think they said their child was fishing or something. I'll mess it all up, but they carried a little bag and were picking up some trash that they saw. And if
Remember
people would
that.
do that, and I thought that is just so positive and amazing. And I love that. And it's just little things like that where,
Yeah.
and I was thinking, why don't we just say, hey, I'm picking up trash at the park today. I'll bring the bags. Anybody who's free,
Yeah.
come along, and just even little things like that would
And having
be
having
uplifting and helpful.
an interested email list there is the right idea.
Exactly.
You start to develop that.
Exactly.
Remember when Brian Green set up the clean of Fifth Street down here? It's like started at the library and went all the way down.
Mhm.
People brought their blowers, their sweepers, their this, their
Mhm.
that. Guy on a tractor picking up all the debris,
Mhm.
took it over to the city park, I think, and dropped it in the area for that. And but that seemed to work out one time.
Well-
But there was a lot of people there.
It's a good model. Let's keep pushing forward.
Yeah, and I think, and we have a city cleanup
It
day
works.
usually every year, so it's
Mhm.
something that we could work on doing a
Yeah.
little bit more. Okay, does anybody have any other questions, or we'll get kind of moving along on the next thing? Does anybody have anything on that? Okay, so 2.2 agreement with TNT for use of the ball field. Steve, anything moving on that?
Well, they're using it. I mean,
Okay.
but it is a quid pro quo arrangement, and I don't really have a problem with that.
Okay.
I mean, it's just that during the ball season, it's
Right.
their ball
It's
field.
Very well.
Because
taken care of.
they do
Yep.
100% of the
We
work
mow it.
with a
yeah.
lot of equipment and expertise that the city simply does not have. And so going forward, I think that just needs to be put in writing.
I think, and it's fine. I think the issue, if there even was an issue before, was just making sure that the proper equipment was being used and insurance was in place. I think there was just a little bit that
Yeah.
we were concerned about legality wise and
But the
If all
insurance is, the
that's-
insurance is in place. It just needs to
Yeah.
be put in writing. so that
exactly.
they-
So,
Otherwise, I have not had, any requests to use the ball field
okay,
by anybody. Only on occasion do we have, and this was just a few years ago, do we have transient individuals utilize the dugouts, but that's usually during really bad weather
Mhm.
and baseball's not going on. But other than that, if they do want to use the ball field or the entire park, then it's rented out. It's
Okay.
not, it's not.
and
a-
then how
given.
does that work? Like, I'm just thinking, being a good neighbor, they use it most of the time and do most of the maintaining of it. If somebody else wanted to use that, is that something that we would loop them in on? And how is that gonna go? Because it would be extra wear and tear. They might have to redo things.
At
Do we
this
have
point, because they're
anything?
doing 100% of the work, I would not feel comfortable letting anyone in there while they're doing their stuff. Because
Right.
they're paying for it,
Right,
not us.
okay,
Afterwards, now, if it's after ball season and someone would like to go use the ballpark, I wouldn't have an issue with that.
okay,
If someone, kids want to go play ball,
Right.
like say in August or September. But while they're using it and they're the ones agreeing to take care of it.
Okay.
The arrangement has
Perfect.
been that they get to utilize it. We're not going to charge them for
I
it.
love that.
But that's usually over about the middle of July.
Yes, it is. And
So what happens for the rest of the
we
summer?
normally let folks, if kids want to play in there or do
They
stuff,
can?
we do let them do that. Yeah.
You don't have any sign up or anything else?
Well, it's ad hoc. It's not we're not, there's no league play.
Yeah,
Um,
there, it's not
I
as
know
organized
that.
as that. It's
It's
just
not
it's just
JDO,
people
it's-
hanging out.
Right.
there. Yeah.
It's not Tim. Yeah.
it's-
And
yeah.
because no one's walking across the bridge to get there, that rarely happens. It's sometimes what it is a parent who has kids that play ball will take them over there to let them bat
Practice or something.
or toss the ball or practice running the bases or whatever. It's sporadic. We
It's
get
not
very,
locked up,
very
is it?
little
Yeah.
activity over there.
Yeah.
But
They have
not,
to climb the fence. if
but
they
it's
won't go in.
unlocked after the season, right?
Yes, we don't lock
Okay.
it afterwards. People can walk
So
in
it's
there.
unlocked
Okay.
now.
Yeah, we do ask, however, the kids, it is locked now.
Or it is locked.
Yep.
Yes.
It's
The
locked now,
the
but it's
ball
not
field
locked
itself
later.
is locked. Yeah, the gates are locked.
Right.
Primarily because we do not want dogs in there.
Right.
Yeah.
So, my thought process, I'll ask you guys what you think, but I think it would be good to get that agreement written up and then put timeframes on it, just so, I'm not saying it's nothing against anybody, but that gives them an opportunity to come to the city and say, hey, we've got this problem, or the city to come to them and say, hey, we've got this problem, and reassess.
It needs to be clearly written out.
Yeah, but have it
That's it.
clearly written out, so if we need to
It
make any
protects everybody.
changes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, helps
So-
everybody's understanding and
Yeah.
then especially if it changes over
So
time.
how do you guys feel about kicking that idea up to council to have that move
Absolutely.
forward?
I think, so the season's over effectively now. It's August, what I gathered.
Mhm.
I imagine you'll work on this between now and next season, whenever that starts. My
Uh, it-
question on that
In March.
in March.
Yeah.
I think it'd be good, whatever the agreement comes to look like, that they supply basically their schedule. And then.
And they do.
And they
Okay,
do.
great.
Yeah.
And
They
that
give
could be
us a-
something that maybe can go on the city's website or something. So
Right.
there's an idea for the public to have an idea of when
Mhm.
stuff is happening for the CNT Park or ball field and whatnot.
I was gonna point out, it seems to me that the most likely conflict is that somebody is expecting to try to use the tables, but it's less likely that somebody's wanting to have host a baseball team, a
Mhm,
baseball
right.
game at the same time.
Right.
So,
Right.
so that's pretty much the most common.
And what we do is we make it clear that if they want during their games, if they want to reserve the picnic bench,
Uh-huh.
they have to go through our process
that
and pay for
separately.
that reservation.
Yeah.
So it's possible for two groups to coexist.
Yes, it is. And if they,
just the
conversely, if a
parking.
group wants to rent it, we let them know if it's a baseball day, say you're going to be sharing that with a lot of people.
Right,
Just
You know,
FYI.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we tell the baseball folks, and we have in writing to Miranda, that's our contact person, that we do reserve, we will let you know if it's reserved, and we ask that you conduct accordingly, that these folks have reserved it. Most of the time, there's no conflict. We let folks know ahead of time what to expect so that we don't have
That's cool.
complaints.
Great.
Because the worst thing is to have 100 people over there
Huh.
in the baseball and have a family that like to have a get together, and it's hard because the restrooms are being used and everything else.
Yes.
And most people know, like even we rented a park for a wedding and they did tell us it is a park. So while you are renting it for your event and it's generally quiet up here, if people come to use the facilities or the park, you can't tell them to go away.
They can. They
So you
can.
kind of know if it's a public space that you might have
Yeah.
a little bit of influx.
Makes
So as long as
Mhm.
you're upfront with people ahead of time, they usually are pretty good about it.
Sounds
You
good.
know, your TNT park, our TNT park, it's the most amazing comments from people that come, Sweet Home. Gosh, as far we go, Silverton, I mean, all over these people come and it's like, this is just amazing. And you have real bathrooms.
It is
We
really
hear
nice.
that a
It's
lot,
nice
you know?
setting too, and especially with the shade and everything.
It
Yeah.
is.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just wish the picnic table that's usually chained down was there most of the time.
Mm, mm.
That's kind of nice too. Or
Where's
the bleachers, they're not there always. I
Oh.
think.
Well, we lost a set of bleachers, didn't we?
Yeah, they're on
The
order now.
storm,
Yeah,
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 FEMA,
but it
FEMA's
was-
gonna pay for them.
Nobody.
Okay.
knew that.
that's very nice of
Yeah,
them.
the trees came down and,
Oh, I remember that.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're in a, tomorrow will be the last meeting with FEMA, and we should get that paid for.
Nice.
That's great.
Good. It's a great
Um,
facility.
did anybody have anything, any other questions or
No,
anything?
everybody says yes to TNT
I
agreement.
was just asked
Yeah.
if the city is gonna start charging them money. I said,
No.
I hadn't heard that. The only thing I heard was, you have to have insurance.
Yeah, and that's it.
And I said,
Insurance and a
that's the only
schedule.
thing I heard.
That's-
Well, and
Insurance and a schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a lot of discussion back and forth on that, trying to kind of figure out. And so we just tried to, figure out what was the
Okay.
best for everybody.
The quid pro
And
quo,
what
they
would
take
work.
care of it. It's fine.
Exactly.
It's all in the
The only
wash.
time you have to pay for is when you reserve the
Yeah.
shelter and the,
Shelter,
yeah.
right.
Correct.
Right,
That's the only
or if you
time.
need to reserve the entire park, which they're going to do in end of August for their big
Mhm.
Oh,
alumni
right, right.
event,
Right.
and they take over the park.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that,
they
that
do.
makes sense, is that the baseball's not going on, they
Mhm.
will have a baseball game,
Mhm.
but they're taking over the
Yeah.
park
Yeah.
for that.
Everything's
And
spelled
it'll be
out.
on a schedule, so people will know that that's
Mhm.
happening.
Right.
And so, and
Yeah.
that was basically the thing before. It's
Mhm.
just making sure there's communication and that legally everybody's covered so that we don't have any issues.
Well, you know about rumors.
Oh,
well,
yes.
There's a lot of
Most
those,
Float
but
definitely
that's
do.
okay.
something, make you pay, yeah,
Yeah.
Steve's gonna sell what? What?
sell it all,
So
take over this.
Steve,
Close
Yes.
that.
Counselor.
Jesse made a comment. Would you, I can barely read it, but would you like to do that and maybe?
He just says you
Thank
folks
you.
are off and running, and I'm thrilled Monroe has a park board. On behalf of our Parks Board, we would be happy to help in any way we can, so don't hesitate to reach out, Jesse.
Ah, that's okay.
There you go.
Can send him a
have-
big
you
thank
have a-
you back. And
We
that
have
was,
a buddy,
yeah, that was really awesome that he did that.
We have a park buddy now.
a
Yeah.
park buddy.
Nice.
And
So-
Jesse is awfully, he's absolutely great. You
He's
could not
gonna-
ask for a better.
He's gonna be an
individual.
amazing resource already. I've got like notes and I'm like, okay, I gotta take this to the
Yeah,
school board,
yeah,
because
and-
wouldn't that be great? I mean, how fantastic. That may be a great thing for everybody.
Indeed.
So now we're gonna skip down to new business then. We have Gateway Park. Is there anything new on that or was that just sitting there? Should we?
In there, it's new
let's-
business.
Let's kick that up and I'll kick it up and put it under old business for next week, just so that it doesn't fall off our radar, but we don't get all excited that something new's happening.
Well, yeah, it's one of those things where I think the park master plan has to kind of
Right.
decide what it is it should do.
Well, yeah, I wonder, should we, and we're gonna wait to get feedback before we start actually like having a discussion about it, right?
Well,
In
we
terms of-
have all the, you
plans,
remember you were
ideas.
at all the meetings, so we've got those general things. So once we
Yeah.
get the new survey done
Yeah.
and start going through and updating the other pieces, then we just have to prioritize kind of what we want in those bullet points for those areas. That's what I was talking about before. And it doesn't mean just because we decide and prioritize based on the information that we have, that doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen first or whatever. If there's
Yeah.
some obscure grant that comes up for something that was a wish clear down here, it doesn't mean we can't go for it. Or
So
it's
what
something,
what I'm
yeah.
actually seeing here in a way is that we should probably just suspend or wait on looking at Gateway at all, because it's just cart before the horse. Like, look at it holistically.
right.
Gateway is a part of the larger future vision.
Mhm.
So just put it on the back
Yep.
burner, and then we'll bring that in as a new work activity or something
Well,
as
and,
soon as it's time.
and they can become new business if something comes up.
Yeah.
Or if there's a grant or something that comes available that might be pertinent to that as we get going on. But really, right now, a lot of this is arbitrary
Yeah.
because, like I said, we don't have the plan done. So that needs to be our major focus.
I have a question that might fall under other business.
Sounds great. Go for it.
Is what is the timeline on the path upgrade beside that area? So I remember I'm asked
The walk
Steve
path,
before that in the past. Yeah, I just was wondering,
quarter
what-
inch minus.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
Wasn't it
so
actually-
here's
I thought
what,
it was
here's what
paved.
happened.
It's not paved.
The bids went out for it. We did informal bids and they came out over $100,000 more than what we originally
Okay,
did the grant for.
I see.
So talking to Alan Thompson with the ODOT, who heads up the grant, we did a mutual termination of it, which allows us to apply for another grant, which we are doing for the bridge. So
Oh,
we're
okay.
going to shift our gears a little bit because with the bridge, I can use other funds for that, such as SDCs,
Okay,
which I don't have option.
Oh.
Now, having said that,
I see.
the secondary option is to do exactly what we did with Red Hills, which is to use the 1/4 minus on that path and build an ADA. This is what we did in Red Hills.
Mhm.
I've talked with Jenna Brennan. She is the person that does the Safe Routes to School grants and that type of thing. And this has gotten some traction. This particular construction method has gotten traction with ODOT. They typically like asphalt, and all that. They don't like anything other than that. But this would actually allow the city, using existing funds in our reserves and in our SDCs, to actually build out that path so that it is usable as an ADA
Yeah, it
path.
sounds great. Yeah,
So-
it's
so-
a
so-
nice
right.
step forward.
And at that point, at some point, it could be paved if you wanted it to be. But our problem in the city, again, is that maintenance piece. It is so much easier to get some gravel and put it down and steamroll it, have the fire department come out. That's what we did. We put the gravel down.
Mhm.
We had a donated dump truck.
Mhm.
Okay, the time and the effort to do that. All we had to do is pay for the gravel. The fire department came out and trained, with their brush truck to hose it down. They did some training. And Mark, with his giant Tonka toy steamroller, steamrolled it. So I had smiles on multiple faces. And I think everyone in Red Hills who sees me, which is amazing because usually I get blamed for everything, but they will stop me and say, this is the best thing in the world. And it is. If you go over there, I took a picture of it and we were part of a presentation to the state engineers on alternative paths. And they really liked it. They thought this was a great alternative for small communities rather than these giant mega
Mhm.
projects, which might fit larger cities. But for someone like Monroe, people just want to be able to walk, ride a bike.
So that would also be on the train bed behind the.
Yes, it would
Basaraba?
be. It would, and the other part of that is that when right now, I'm working with an architect who wants to build a coffee shop. So this is the parking area across from Niestrom's.
Right.
They'd like to build they would like to build a coffee shop there. Part of that is our street, 6th Street, actually extends down that direction. I would like them to help with that in exchange for use of our back easement right behind them for additional parking. So we're gonna work out in the planning process,
Mhm.
we're gonna work out some ways of getting part of that paved, or at least a path part, and then some parking. Allow them to use our easement behind there for park. It's not really an easement, it's property. I say easement, but it's not an easement. The city owns it. To utilize that for parking area, that would help in two ways. One, it helps the business.
Mhm.
Two, it helps us in case people want to be able to park there or ride their bike and park there. I mean, it's a great
Mhm.
synergy. They can stop and get coffee and a drink or something
Mhm.
and head on down the path.
Cool.
So
So is that,
gateway- oh,
that's,
go ahead.
that's not part of, so any further progress on that particular effort of doing I'm not sure it's through this group. I was just trying to understand.
Yeah, where would the path fall? Does it
But does
fall to
the-
parks or
is it
does
a-
it fall?
Actually, technically, it could fall under parks because it is a path and paths are part of parks.
Okay,
It is, and
So-
that's.
So I would
yeah.
say that yes, the answer is yes.
so then maybe we can determine, I guess that would be another maybe new business thing in the would
Do you
be.
want it new business or since we kind of discussed it and we are already on a path?
Now
Want
it's
to keep
old.
this old business to
New is old,
update us
you know?
on?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I just,
Just put it on the agenda.
Okay.
yeah.
What
No, it's a
about
great
the,
idea. I
Pedestrian
think that's a
bridge?
great idea.
Is that old now too?
All of it's old now. We've talked about so many things. Everything should be on old business.
What I will
unless
do, because I have software that allows me to render in 3D. I think I've
Mhm.
shown this Economic Development Committee and all that for the park. I have actually 3 phases of that park all developed out with all sorts of cool things. And you can, what's fun about it is you can change it and do all sorts of
Mhm.
imagination with it. It also has a 3D walkthrough, so I can show you on the screen to actually fly through the amenities and walk down the path. And you can
We
see
don't
what
even
the-
need to
He's
build it.
gonna
You don't
want a
even need to
drone.
build it.
I can
Tickets to
feel
your
it coming.
You can even put street lights on there, tell the program to be nighttime, and you can
Oh,
see
wow.
where the rays, how the street lights will illuminate
cool.
Yes,
the park.
that's
Is
so
is that
cool.
cool?
That is very
I've also done the same thing for the path, but I did it for the asphalt. I will do it now with the other paving and show
the
where the
adjustment.
crossings and all that would be and how
Cool.
that would be rendered.
You have a
with it.
key, you're the key player in the next meeting. We're gonna have
I
a
will
whole
give you guys,
section, a little presentation.
from that, Commissioner Nielsen is fantastic with taking this and rendering it even better into real world visions. So we can actually see, if you go to City Hall, you'll look on the side and you'll see pictures, and that pictures is of that path, the crossings and everything else with that,
Cool.
which is kind of cool. It's been there forever.
How long ago they were done now, but
2016,
okay.
it was with the connectivity plan of
That's about 8 years
2016.
ago now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Also on this website has another, I mean, if you want to, when we get to the Parks Master Plan here, planning documents, this connectivity plan was done through the Council of Governments. And no, actually it wasn't done. It was done with Monroe and Benton County. The Council of Governments convened it. But what's important with this is this really does go through a lot, all the paths we're talking about, the footbridge, all these connections, all the things we're talking about right now are completely outlined and detailed in this connection plan.
Cool.
Yeah.
It'd be great to make sure that we're
Yeah.
fully aligned with
This
it.
is something that should be included
Yeah.
with this.
Oh,
This is,
absolutely.
Yeah.
this was done
Mhm.
years and years ago. March, it was done in 2016 and was delivered in March of 2017.
Sweet.
There's not a ton of upgrades to it or changes.
Yeah, I mean, this is really a blueprint for that entire
Mhm.
path segment.
Yeah.
That's great.
So the Gateway Park, getting back to that and Surge's build.
Mhm.
So what's the grade difference between going off Ash Street and actually making like a parking lot when you go in there? How much fill could we get away with putting in there, seeing how that's a park?
Well, I actually have all that.
He
Because
did
I've
that.
designed the parking lot's a 2-phase parking lot for that. It's not as much the fill as it is the drainage.
Drainage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, and that's not, I mean, that's.
But
an
it's right
easy-
there.
It's
You-
right there.
you
I've
showed-
already talked to PACX about it and I already talked to Pacific Excavation. They're the ones that actually did the SRTS. They're one of the,
Mhm.
if you put bids out in this area, you're gonna get a PACX to come in and bid on it. But we talked about it, and what they would do is put down some drain rock, drain pipe, some larger rock to fill in, pack in. And they said that would, and then we'll drain it down to the highway and put it into the storm drain that's down there at the corner of Highway 99 and Ash Street.
Okay.
And they said that that would work just peachy. We could do that. That's on that first part next to the library.
Mhm.
Going towards the slough, it's a little better. But at that, you still want to put fill dirt in and level it out somewhat. And then that's where you can put grass and,
Going
put some
towards the
other
slough.
amenities in
What
that.
slough?
The slough is the one that
It's
is,
this
right,
stream, the stream that's just by Jody Khan's.
Slough? Okay.
yeah, that is, it's
I got
actually, it is
Kinda
technically, and I'm gonna
divides the
show
property
you
in
here,
half, or-
Thought it
that
was a lake.
is.
Lake
um,
Dan.
Ditch, creek, whatever you want to
Thinking-
call it.
Okay,
slough,
I got it.
So now it
Drainage from
keeps-
the old
Let's
mill
see
pond
here,
that was
wetland inventory map, there we go.
River when it drains a lot.
there. I was curious about that.
It is in fact, and this is our official, still the official map. But this is it,
I'm
right?
surprised that it doesn't show up on there. It is definitely wetland.
Yeah, it's got all the riparian.
You see this is, it's listed MO9,
Mhm.
that is the sluice. So this is basically your, this is the library here. And this is that Gateway Park area.
Mhm.
And this is the slough that goes across the way here. This is for reference point, right there where it says 9, that's Jody's mini store. And right there for reference is the mayor's house.
So, yeah, I was curious. So that even though it is very, very wet, that's not it's not on their inventory.
No, it's just next to that slough. It is very wet though. We've Mark's gotten himself stuck out there at least once. We had, unfortunately, ODOT was there and ODOT pulled us out with one of their rigs, so that was good.
Well, that's good. yeah.
But we just would need to build it up.
It stays pretty marshy.
Yeah.
That's where you get in trouble, is because you think it's dry and you go out to mow and it's
Meant to be
not
on, and
really so dry.
One of the last areas to be mowed is because we've gotten stuck out there.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like to point out that that it is important to have some parking for sure for anybody who's going to have activities there, but it doesn't need to be a lot because there's also street parking there and
Mhm.
high school parking across the street. And so it's not like you don't need to make like
It only
a
takes
dozen
one,
parking spots.
baseball game and it's completely inundated. So.
No, what we would do is probably
Four-wheel
put in, I have a design, I'll show you.
Yeah.
What,
Yeah.
we saw it originally.
Mostly
a year
pulling
or
off
so
the
ago.
existing grade of the, where the shoulder is there.
It's what you showed us of the
Well,
economic
and-
development.
Exactly. There's huge
And
amount of
it's
room.
more of a multi-use thing too, right? So it can be parking and or
Do pop-ups.
It would
there.
have-
pop-ups or
Yeah, so
whatever.
it would have
Yeah.
it would have a path.
Mhm,
I put a nice little gazebo like Harrisburg in there. The Bennett House was also
Mhm.
fitted in there.
Mm.
A pathway that you could specifically put pop-ups and
Mhm.
tents and other things in there for like a farmer's market or whatever. And then a skateboard park down towards this end down here.
Mhm,
So those were all depicted on
Mhm.
the
Right.
On the,
on that.
on your big.
Yeah,
plan.
it was, and the ideas. Oh, yeah, and a steam train too.
Oh, yes, the train.
I had to put my steam train in there.
Okay, it's good to dream, I think.
Always.
And there's lots of good ways to make a lot of that happen. One other thing too that we should mention, I know a lot of times we go Red Hills and it's just the swampy or the water drainage, but having wildlife
I like
areas
that
where people
place.
can look
I
and
go
watch
there, yeah.
birds and stuff like that, that also fits into parks. So
I go
That's
there
not
all the
the worst
time
thing.
and there is one bench and I might be the only person who sits on it, but I sit there with,
no.
because I'm
you're
always
not,
taking my
but yeah.
dog through
Well,
those.
aren't
Yeah,
there
it's
more
so
birds
beautiful.
over on the backside of the city park too? There is a
Yeah.
partial
There's-
path too.
There's a zoo back there, right, Steve? Steve has them all named.
Yes.
So Mark can't get rid of them.
Yep, you have to name them. But yeah, and so we have a lot of that here too. So that, I just want to mention that that does still fit our park. So
Yeah.
even though there's not, we can't like do something bigger like we might want to do in Red Hills, it still serves a really good purpose. And the same thing with here with the slough, it makes a nice little greenway right in the middle of whatever else we might
Aha,
be doing.
okay,
And it's
somebody
not,
else said.
the worst thing ever. So it gives us good opportunities.
Well, I'd like to also point out, Loretta has been quiet, but I have to say that the wild, kind of the semi-wild area that in marshy kind of with the area just behind the library that
Mhm.
you've been
Mhm.
you've been doing the landscaping on is really cool. I mean,
Mhm.
it's definitely has that kind of like
Yeah, and it was.
native.
And that was a design feature. They had
Yeah.
to put that in there.
That's
So
very
it's part
cool.
of the building process.
But it takes a lot of oversight.
It takes management, doesn't it? Yeah, yeah. It gets away fast if you're not on top of
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's always kept very nice.
So are you gonna keep the trees down in there?
The
For the-
Ponderosa.
for the
I did keep some
That's
trees.
great.
Those are all planned to stay.
Right. The part of the problem with those pine trees
Yes.
is that
don't say it, I will.
their roots rot.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
see that, over on Ash and Seventh. Okay, where it extends across the street, you see there's an easement there.
Mhm.
Each year we go out and take a few out, but you can just knock them over.
They're not the right kind
Yeah,
of tree for
they're
that
not
area.
for that
They don't do
swampy,
well.
messy ground. They just aren't the right
You know
trees.
Is that something that's gonna stay? If so, then
I know you get it.
you're gonna have problems, but
Something-
if you start planning for other trees to go in there.
And that's what I did. I actually put some ash trees in there. There are trees that are amenable to this kind of soil. And
Yeah.
and also alders as well. I like natives, so.
Yeah.
Because they tend to do much better in our existence, but you'll notice there are not a lot of native trees
No,
Yeah.
they're not.
outside of the cottonwoods and things that love,
Yeah.
but they also love my sewer pipes too.
Don't need that. Okay, as long as there's a plan for shoot forward to.
I will present the plan. We'll fly
Hey.
through it.
Alright.
We'll
And
walk
grants
through
and
it.
grants and grants.
RDI.
So,
Afrina.
Yeah.
yeah, does anybody have anything else they want to bring up that they're concerned about with parks before I? All right, so I have down as our action things that we want to go ahead and let council make sure that they get the agreement with TNT taken care of. That's the ball
Mhm.
field one.
Yep.
Right.
So that's handled. And then also that we're to look through the survey and if we have any input on the survey to make sure that we get back with that so that we can go ahead and.
Any more discussion or edits.
Right, so that we can get rolling on that. And then we'll just start moving forward on working on that master plan because that's our big major task we have to do. So I'd like to really just try to focus on that piece by piece and make sure that we update the parts that we need to update and get the surveys and get the information
So
taken care of.
the sample, that plan that guy saved, is that
Mhm.
gonna go, can you email that to us or
Mm-hmm.
something or? maybe put-
Oh, yeah, do you want, should we
is
just
there-
email the one that Mr. Ott gave us?
I'm looking at here, it's kind of cool because it's also in Spanish as
Oh,
well.
very
Oh,
good.
that's awesome.
Excellent.
I would like mine in
Translations,
English
yay.
though. because
And
I
all
will be
he
confused.
has is side by side.
Oh, that's awesome.
This is great.
There's a-
So all I have to do is take Contado out and, which is, and take Adair and put Monroe and I'm in business because that's a Contado de Adair is, county,
Perfect,
the
yeah.
Adair County, Parque del Contado de Adair. I can just take the
Yeah.
Contado out and we're in business.
That's awesome, because then we can also distribute some down maybe at the food pantry and whatnot, because that's where Casa meets still, is that
They
correct?
do.
Yeah, they do.
And then we can,
And we can also mail this
Follow
out
up.
in our utility bills as well.
yes, perfect.
There you
But
go.
that's,
Oh, that's cool.
no, but that was you assuming you were just gonna lift this whole thing.
What I would do is I would need to look at what you folks would like.
So
And then
could we,
what I will do is go to the CASA folks and ask if they could help us with the translation like Chris did.
Yeah.
so I'm just wondering, how do I get a copy of that?
So,
I'm looking at now, I'll forward it to me and get it sent out to the entire group.
To this
Perfect.
email or?
I'll email it out to everybody.
okay,
I think I have everyone's email address on my,
Do you have Jeremy's?
yes, I do. I
Yeah,
have Jerry,
application.
yes, I have,
Okay,
and
just making sure.
Judy's as well. So I have all
Okay.
of yours.
That would be terrific.
yeah. And then we can look at those and
Compare
decide if
'em.
we want any
Yeah.
changes
Yeah.
or if we like the way something else is worded better or what we
Yeah.
want to do.
Right, and then I can get it translated. I think it's a good idea in our town, given the feedback that we received, that the
Mhm.
Spanish speaking community gets an
Yes.
opportunity.
I
to
would
fill this out.
love to make sure that we follow up because that was, Mayor and I just enjoyed that so much and it
It
was
was
really nice.
fun.
And I really
It was a lot
want
of
them
fun.
to feel like we didn't just come for a one-time thing, that we really want their input and want to
Mhm.
continue to have that.
Yeah.
Because they are a big part of our community. So we
They are.
need to, work together as one to come
Yeah.
up with good opportunities for everybody.
We also need to put our utility bills in that format. USDA has also asked us if,
Oh,
what
okay.
our
Mhm.
effort is to reach out.
Mhm.
And I've just noticed that we have a large contingency. They're very quiet,
Yeah.
very quiet group.
Yeah.
But it's a
Well-
large contingency.
Until you get to know them.
Then they will come to you.
And then they
Oh, yeah.
will,
It
they will
doesn't take
loosen
long.
up. It doesn't take long
Nope.
and they're amazing and they will, and I have some that even come in, they'll catch me in the store and they'll start talking to me and they know I don't speak a lick of Spanish, but they'll talk to me anyway and help me understand and pick up what they're saying and we figure it out, right?
Yes.
But how cool is that? That now
Mhm.
we can on some
Yep.
level communicate and I love that. It makes me
Or
happy.
they'll bring in their cell phone with Google Translate.
Mhm.
Dawn and
Yeah,
I, and
there's always
yeah,
that.
We'll
Yeah,
have fun.
that's great.
I enjoy it.
Monday, when I left here, from the planning commission meeting, I was going up the hill and they're starting to practice for cross-country.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
And I will tell you, there's a lot of them. But the road is getting so tore up
Yeah,
up
it
there.
is.
It's awful.
Mhm.
That-
And I don't know if there's a grant that could be had to help with that.
Is that a public works piece or?
This is outside city limits.
Oh,
So
It
however,
also goes up to the water
Gary
tank.
Stockoff says, he's
Mhm.
the director of public works, is the folks that along there need to write him.
People
And
up there.
yes.
right.
Need to write the county, attention to the county director. And they have the ability, if the citizens adjoining that have reached out, they have some provisions to help with that. Such as we have extra slurry from someplace,
Mhm.
bring it here.
Right.
But they won't do it unless
Oh,
the
you-
citizens along that way have requested it
Ask
from the
for it.
county.
Got it.
So there you
Get
go.
that taken care of. I will do that.
I know you will. I know you will, sir.
Action required, Timmy Street.
His parents live up at the very top, so all you need is those few folks up there to contact and they will put it on their schedule.
I was just watching the kids that go up there and touch that fire,
Yeah.
Rail, yeah, and
Rail.
come back down.
back down, and they're just sweating up a storm. Poor kids.
down.
But it's
But they
so
have a nice,
nasty.
and they have a nice view coming back down.
Oh, it's a great deal.
It's even better view on top of the water tank too.
Don't encourage.
I mean, that's really the key to a lot of this
We put
stuff.
a
It's
bar
really
up
hard.
there.
I
It
mean, you have very few people trying to make
That's the place
decisions.
to do
So
it.
the more people
Everybody's
that
gotta
come
send a
out, get
release.
involved, get on committees like you guys have, voice their opinion, it helps us have a better rounded community. So thank you guys for coming out. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry, I ran us over a little bit tonight. We're 8 minutes over. So I'm gonna adjourn the meeting and if y'all want to keep talking, we can keep talking. But unless there's anything else, I'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting. So anybody that needs to go can.
I'm jabbered out.
Are we good? Okay. I am going to adjourn the meeting
Oh,
then.
sure, go ahead and turn it whenever you want.
Tim is
Do you want to, do you want to do it?
No way.
I'll gladly
I'm
pass
just
this
teasing.
over. Oh, yeah, turn your.